Alright, so deck number 6 I have for you is another aggro deck. This one is a 75 card. It's a Jund. It's called Jund deck. Jund is because it's the in Ravnica. No, is it Ravnica or Alara? Anyways, it's the color affiliation of green, white, and red. So this deck is green, white, and red. So I call it a Jund deck, and has a lot of aggressive creatures in it. So yeah, let's just go through this deck. Okay, it has a lot of very efficient, mana efficient creatures, like this one. 2 mana for 3/3. You can't cast it during the first, second, or third turn of the game, but it has flying and vigilance. So if it's past the if it's fourth turn or past the fourth turn, then it's basically 2 mana for 3/3 flying vigilance, which is really good. Then I have this card helps me search for those other colors, right? Mountain, forest, or plains. That's what this deck is based off of. Bloodberry Elf is really good. It's 4 mana for 3/2, which is not very good by itself, or with haste, which is not very good by itself. But the fact that it's Cascade, when I play this, Cascade is a very powerful mechanic. Where if I play this and then I reveal cards off the top of my deck until I reveal a card that costs less than this, so 3 mana card or 2 mana card or 1 mana card, and then you play it for free. So this is actually amazing. This Cascade mechanic is amazing. So you play this, Buttery Elf, and if I see Sarah Avenger, it comes out for free. So that's a really amazing card. Okay, Woolly Thoktar is 3 mana for 5/4. No abilities, but it doesn't really need any because 3 mana for 5/4 is very cost efficient. Flint Hoof Boar, 2 mana for 2/2. If I have a mountain, which I should, then it's a 3/3 for 2 mana. Plus it can gain haste for an additional 1 mana. So very mana efficient. This is 2 mana for 4/3. You can only cast it if you played another green spell. But say you play Flint Hoof 4, and then you can play Talara's Battalion right after. And you've invested a total of 4 mana for 4/3 and a 3/3, and that's really awesome. And it's trample as well. That's a nice extra to have. But yeah, 2 mana for 4/3 is really good stats as well. Trample. This one is one of the best stats. 1 mana for 4/3. You know what's better than 2 mana for 4/3? 1 mana for 4/3. But yeah, when it comes to the battlefield, the opponent may have it deal 4 damage and then it dies. But you know, 1 mana for 4 damage is also really good. So it's either 1 mana for 4 damage or 1 mana for 4/3. Either way, you're getting your mana's worth. You know, it's just 1 mana. This is just a sack land to get anything. The deck. Lightning Bolt's really, really awesome removal card. 1 mana for 3 damage to any creature or player. Pretty simple. Okay, Lockstone Smiter. 3 mana for 4/4, can't be countered. And if anything causes me to discard it, I put it onto the battlefield. There's no really drawbacks with this card. Just 3 mana for 4/4, plus some extra abilities on top of that. Okay, so then I have my first Planeswalker here. Just because his abilities is a little bit synergistic with what I'm doing. So first one, look at the top card in my library. If it's a creature card, I put it in my hand. Second ability, something I control fights another creature, which is better because I can choose which creature I want. Basically, fighting is like choosing which creature can block you, essentially, when you're attacking, right? So that's pretty cool. He's only 3 mana, Planeswalker too. Okay, Wild Nakata, 1 mana. And once you have Mountain of Plains, basically once I have my color base out on the battlefield, once I have my Mountain and Plains in play, then it's a 3/3 for 1 mana, which is really, really efficient. So 1 mana for 3/3 basically when you have all the colors that you have in your deck. Vengevine, 4 mana for 3 haste. If I cast a spell, if it's a second creature spell, I get it back from my battlefield. So it's one of the higher costed cards in my deck, but it's really good if you play a lot of creatures, which this deck does. Okay, Path to Exile. This is a really good card. A lot of people play this card in pretty much anything that splashes white. Yeah, just 1 mana, you get rid of any creature, you exile any creature. The controller gets a basic land card, but that's a very small drawback for getting rid of any creature, from a Darksteel Colossus to to like in rack rule, you know. So that's really awesome. What else do I have? Fleece main line. Okay, 2 mana for 3/3. Already very good. That's already Flint Hoof Boar, you know, powered up. But I can pay 5 mana to make it gain, make it become a 4/4 and make it have a hexproof and indestructible, which means that it's pretty much impossible to kill. If something has hexproof and indestructible, the only way to remove it from the game would be to have something that would be to have a card like exile all creatures on the battlefield or return all creatures on the battlefield to their owner's hands, and that would be like the only way to get rid of it. Otherwise, it's like impossible to kill it, right? You can't target it, and you can't kill it with damage. So, yeah, hexproof and indestructible is that's a really deadly combination there. That's like impossible for most decks to get rid of. I think all the other cards I've already gone over. Oh, Naya the Reliquary here too. 3 mana for 2/2, but there's +1/+1 for each land card in my graveyard. I have a lot of sack lands here. Then I can sacrifice a Forest of Plains, search my library for any land card, and I put it on the battlefield. Another card that grows with time. And very efficient creatures. I have another Planeswalker here, Sarkhan Vol. It's 4 mana for first ability. All my creatures gain +1/+1 and gain haste, which is really good for an aggro deck. Second one, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Obviously another really good ability. So and then you know the last one's like 5 4/4 dragons. So yeah, this is a really good card for an aggro deck like this one, and it's in the colors I'm splashing. So okay, now another Planeswalker, Exana Ghost, same mana cost, 3 counters instead of 4. First abilities all add X mana. So I get add X mana to my mana pool, X number of creatures I control, which is pretty useful. And then 0 second mana to put a 2/2 creature token with haste onto the battlefield, which is also really good. So yeah, those 2 cards are good for aggro. And I have Garruk Relentless here. It's a really good card. Deals 3 damage. Target creature or player that clearly deals damage equal power. Put 0 mana, put a 2/2 wolf green creature into wolf creature in the battlefield. And then it transforms, put a 1/1 wolf creature death touch, sacrifice my creature to search my library for any creature and put it in my hand. So yeah, really good. Oh, it's not going to transform often, but when it does, it's really good. And even if it's not transformed, it's really good. Okay, what do I have left? Wiltleaf Liege, I think, is really good. 4 mana for 4/4. Other green creatures I control get +1/+1. Other white creatures I control get +1/+1. So it pumps up all my other creatures, and then if something causes me to discard it, I put it into play, which is great. So yeah, 4 mana for 4/4, also very efficient. Alright, and there's a few other cards I want to show you guys. Okay, Browbeat. Browbeats are very similar to the Vexing Devil card. It makes the opponent choose a choice. They can take damage or make you play it, basically. But this one's 3 mana. Basically any player can have 5 damage dealt to him, or if no one wants to have 5 damage dealt to him, then you draw 3 cards. But just like Vexing Devil, this card is really good. Makes your opponent choose. Either way is really good. 3 mana to draw 3 cards is really awesome. 3 mana to deal 5 damage is also really awesome. So, I mean, think about Lava Axe, it's like 5 mana to do 5 damage, right? But this one is, Vexing Devil is like 1 mana to do 4 damage. This one's 3 mana, draw 3 cards to deal 5 damage, you know. Really good card. Then we have Hunt Master of the Fells, also a really good card. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms, I get a 2/2 green wolf creature and I gain 2 life. And then every turn, if no spells were cast, and I transform. And then what's the transform form? Well, it's this one, Ravager of the Falls, 4/4 trample. When this one transforms, it deals 2 damage and 2 damage to a creature. 2 damage to an opponent and 2 damage to a creature that person has. And then it keeps transforming back and forth. And every time it transforms, it does stuff. So it's awesome investment for 4 mana. Also have Master of the Wild Hunt, 4 mana for 3/3. Every upkeep, I get a 2/2 wolf creature. I can tap to make those wolf creatures deal damage to something. Kind of like fighting, so that's really awesome. I have Silverblade Paladin, 3 mana for 2/2. Soul Bond means that I can choose to have this pair with another creature when it comes to play, and then when this is paired, that means that both creatures have double strike. And double strike is a really powerful ability, you know. So say I have a Knight of the Reliquary, Silver Blade Paladin, I pair with it, and this is just a 2/2, let's say, or 3/3. Let's say this is a 3/3, right? Play this one, at one land card in my graveyard, this is a 3/3, I pair it together. This is double strike, and this is double strike. So this deals 4 damage, this does 6 damage now. So that's really awesome. So yeah, that's it. That's my Jund deck. It's very aggressive, a lot of very efficient creatures in this deck. And yeah, 75 cards. So anyways, that's it for the Jund deck, the red, green, white deck.